Welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka TheIndianJesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. Welcome to the party, everybody. Very, very good to see ya. It's been interesting over the last couple weeks. We've been doing a lot of new stuff, but I want to get back to basics today. I saw this video, and actually, while we were doing all that stuff, I got a little bit more comfortable with not having to cover one specific thing and maybe be able to jump around a little bit. So I saw this, and this will be most of the show, but we'll have some time, and you guys will get to decide what we do next. But unfortunately, as we are winning the culture war, it is not over. It is far from over. We're going to be taking a look at, what looks like the death throes of wokeness. They're always most dangerous right before they die. Can I miss anything? I don't know. Let's dive right in. If you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
Let's talk real quick, you all, about what fascism looks like in our schools. It's when teachers are told, don't talk about racism, don't talk about gender, and absolutely do not talk about equity.
Mrs. Harris, this is kindergarten. Aren't we supposed to be learning numbers and shapes today? You know she's not in a fascist country because she comfortably says all this on camera, which you could not do in a fascist country without being jailed.
If teachers can't teach real history, if we can't challenge injustices, then classrooms stop being places of learning and they start becoming places of control.
There are plenty of ways that school conditions kids to be easily controlled pathologically, but those aren't it.
Let's not forget that public school was started to control children.
What is this chick even talking about? You can literally see pictures of letters, rectangles, and numbers on her wall, which means her class is very young. What business does politics have in a place where kids aren't even old enough to read? I mean, is she going to say it's fascism because you can't teach sex ed to 5-year-olds too? Well, she kind of already did. But these people will call anything fascist. Meanwhile, they'll stay silent on or approve of people getting arrested for calling themselves retarded.
I was told I would either be arrested or I had to turn up for interview under caution, was because on my Katie's arms, I called myself a spaz. And I got arrested effectively by British police because
that's the UK. You can't even call yourself a spaz, or you'll get arrested.
That's offensive. I'm waiting to find out if I'm going to be charged against the Online Communications Act.
You see that? That's a real instance of authoritarian censorship, and there are many examples of this in England. There's a whole world of difference between being arrested for saying that you're a spaz and your principal kindly asking you to spend more time teaching kids to count and less time teaching them bullshit like systemic racism.
Here's the reality, you all. Silencing educators isn't about protecting our students or protecting children. It isn't about us indoctrinating children in a classroom with our political beliefs or our own personal agendas. It is 100% about protecting fascism.
That's true.
Shout out to Adam Vigil. Welcome to the party. Said, what we have to do to stop this ideology, considering the other side wants us dead. Well, what do we have to do is just be better. We have to be better. We have to convince people. There is a very large contingent of people who are not in this world. And so they just go by, what everybody else is kind of thinking. And so in their minds, gender affirming care is good because it's nice. They don't actually know that this stuff is so detrimental. And so what we have to do is be louder with the facts, louder with the truth. Welcome to the party.
Strange, because it completely sounds like it's about all of those things while at the same time having nothing to do with fascism. What's wrong with just giving kids the tools to learn and letting them figure things out on their own? That's what good teachers do. Well, that's kind of the point, right? These aren't good teachers who have their students' best interests in mind. These are ideologically possessed, useful idiots who are seeking to convert people, and elementary school kids are the perfect victims because they're a captive audience who legally have to be in the classroom, and kids don't have any life experiences or know anything, so it's easy to get them to believe whatever you want without any sort of pushback. The fact that she wants to teach gender ideology to 5-year-olds is insane. Sorry, 7-year-olds. I just found this parody video where she talked.
Oh, that's much better. 7-year-olds. 7-year-olds are definitely ready for that type of discussion. And, I just realized that, yesterday we had Mac and who plays on, who is a VTuber. And, it's like, what is the point? Why do you do that? And he gave a pretty good explanation. And yet here we are covering a faceless channel.
It's about teaching 2nd grade.
Let me think of his name. Abraham Lincoln.
Every time.
Who heard it?
Abraham Lincoln.
Every time. I feel like it's impossible to cover a black person on TikTok without hearing a smoke detector that needs a battery replacement. And no, I did not edit the beep in.
I know y'all been worried about my smoke detector. The amazing guy changed the battery. It's still beeping. There's nothing else I can't do. It ain't. I can't make it stop beeping. I can't do none of it. It's just gonna beep on its own.
Anyway, personally, I think it's a special kind of evil to teach children useless ideology that will screw up years of their lives just to make yourself feel important like this teacher is trying to do.
And that's all it is. It's all a virtue signal. Listen, guys, I have the answers. You don't actually know what's really good, but I, as the second grade teacher teaching your 7-year-olds, actually have all the answers.
Especially when it's evident that the person in question is just repeating talking points that she heard on CNN or whatever, rather than perceptions that were found through hard work, research, and self-reflection. I don't think she really understands what authoritarianism is, because she wouldn't unironically repeat the talking points of the most oppressive groups in the country who would have you arrested for misgendering people.
How does that law force XXXY to use pronouns? Like in their advertising, in their corporate offices?
If they are interacting with a customer and the customer says, this is my preferred name and these are my preferred pronouns, this is the way I want to be addressed, there is a legal obligation to do that. They're compelled to use those pronouns and those surnames under Colorado's law.
And that is exactly what got Jordan Peterson his start in the political world. If you remember, he was a psychologist that, talked mainly about psychology, but also through the Bible. And this was, I believe, back in 2016, 15, 17, somewhere around there. And they were imposing these compelled speech laws where it's, you have to say this thing. And he's like, fuck you. No, you can't compel me to say anything. Well, he got out just in time.
The kicker is there criminal penalties for it. You can have prison time, jail time for up to 4 months.
This isn't a new stance. They've been preaching criminal penalties for misgendering for like a decade. And considering our elementary school teacher's prior comments about gender and the fact that she has pronouns in her bio, I can almost guarantee that she would approve of people being arrested for speech that she finds offensive, despite being mad about what she calls censorship. I've watched enough people approving of Charlie Kirk's murder to know that this
Listen, Comrade Julia, the teacher defended me though, and after class he said he agreed with me. All is well. Celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Hey, shout out to Tag. Welcome to the party. Shout out to JBP. He said, like and share. Thank you so very, very much. You guys know how much that helps out the channel. It's free, it's easy, and even if you don't think anybody click on the link, just by you telling the platform you want more people to see it, they will show it to more people. Thank you. Welcome to the party.
Type of person has no idea what the term free speech means, and they thought police each other like crazy, so they all believe the exact same things, to the extent where they will support movements that are completely contrary to their personal beliefs because the group supports them. For example, we have Queers for Palestine.
What happened to a gay couple in Palestine, sir? Executed according to Islamic law. Islam doesn't endorse gayism. Islam doesn't endorse homosexuality.
I mean, these people are paid protesters, right? I've seen a lot of dumb shit on the internet, but even I have trouble believing that this is not astroturfed.
Yeah, I think Queers for Palestine has to be completely bought and paid for.
But going back to school teachers,
then again, I don't really know. Really quick, guys. So I'm not going to change this banner just because it says peanut butter, but I don't want to give him too much peanut butter, and I don't want him to see. But we've got a special tasty treat in addition to all of the treats that Morty will get with any donation. And I've got the wrong banner up. Let's try to hit that a swole goal. 15 super chats of any donation or a $50 total. And not only does Morty get his treat, but I've got to do push-ups. Look how puny I am. I need your help. Thank you.
We've gotten to the point where it feels like most children's spaces have been raided by idiot radicals who care more about kids growing up with the right opinions than they do about teaching them useful skills, to the extent where in terms of parenting, everything is starting to become a landmine for kids. Recently, Netflix has been under fire for having a multitude of shows aimed at children as young as 2 years old that are teaching them transgender and LGBT ideology.
When you're trying to decide, think about all the things you like to do. Just be you.
And by be you, we mean be somebody completely different.
Just be me. How about you break out those moves for your 2 biggest fans?
Insane.
Since when did
Insane. And, as somebody who is very much into the shows and movies that I like to watch, it'll take a lot. It'll take a lot for me to cancel a Netflix subscription just because I use it so much. And so yes, if I was the most principled person ever, then I would cancel my Netflix. But I'm sorry, I need my Netflix. And so the counterbalance to that is coming here and sharing all this bullshit with you.
Just be you mean wear a dress and act like the opposite gender. It's almost like when they say, just be you, the writers of this are specifically trying to lead very young children down a certain path. Oh, wow, this meme is diabolical. And
and said, after aborting 10 girls from our surrogate, we finally have a boy. Yay! Only one more thing to do. And then meet our 1 hour old trans newborn. The culture war is not over. Shout out to equality and deference because vagina. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party over from Rumble. Yes, shout out to Think Before You Sleep. I do enjoy this channel very, very much. And again, as we were talking about yesterday with the VTubers, I have a much greater understanding as to why people want to, but you know, you can be successful without it. Quality also said like and shared again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So very, very much that stuff really, really does help.
Netflix unironically did this.
My favorite part about this is they gave the black guy the Killmonger haircut. By the way, this haircut is how you know this was made by white women.
Yep. This is what comes up when you search the company that makes Cocomelon. And
anybody else surprised? Me neither.
Trust me, nobody is shocked by these demographics. And let me just say this in a way so everyone can understand how corrupt this is. The founder of Apple, Steve Jobs, would often say something like, customers don't know what they want until I tell them what they want.
True. True. We had that nice conversation yesterday, right? And the first comment on the afterwards was, oh, it was so nice and calm that I fell asleep. Y'all motherfuckers don't know shit about shit. You will like what I give you.
This statement is arrogant, but I find it to be very accurate. People don't realize how many choices are actually made for them by somebody else. Like, how do you know if you want an iPhone if you've never seen a smartphone before?
You can't.
Or have you walked into a store before expecting to buy nothing but ended up walking out with tons of stuff? Getting people to think that they are intuitively picking things without them knowing that they're actually being led to pick that thing is an essential skill to have in the higher levels of creative fields, as the audience very often doesn't desire something until it's shown to them.
Parents absolutely have a right to be annoyed as with this. I'm trans, and if I had a kid, they would not be fucking watching this.
Let me make this even easier to understand. They're advertising transgenderism to kids when they put stuff like this in Cocomelon, which is a special form of evil because kids are very impressionable. And at least when I was younger, it's not like every boy was trying on dresses. This was a very rare thing in the 90s, so not many kids were thinking that this was a good idea on their own outside of maybe a Halloween costume as a joke. And the ones that might claim it was their own idea would often report when they got older that their mothers who wanted a daughter would put them in dresses.
Yup. I remember. We'll address that. No pun intended in a second. But yeah, I remember in high school, it was super common to on Halloween for guys to just dress up as girls because it was funny. And then I like 3 years later, this whole thing just became something very, very different. And then, of course, like he is saying here that, you know, oh, it's common for boys just want to play dress up and this and that and that and that. Then they get older. And what did they say?
Would often report when they got older that their mothers who wanted a daughter would put them in dresses. I mean, if you don't think that women can be degenerates, then I suggest that you watch this video by Shoe on Head. Degenerate behavior is actually quite normalized among women.
Put a 1 in the chat if you have not seen this video or from the clips if you don't know what she's talking about. Just give me a 1 and we'll talk a little bit more about it.
Bitches freaks out here. They display their smut openly in bookstores. They proudly pose in front of their smut collections. They discuss their smut openly on TikTok. Thousands and thousands of women in particular have been raving about this piece of literature. What piece of literature is it, you may ask? Well, Morning Glory Milking Forum, of course.
Morning Glory Milking Forum. Oh, you haven't heard of it?
Of course. A popular romance novel about a young woman down on her luck who does what every young woman does when facing financial struggle. She starts an OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding. She wouldn't degrade herself like that. She gets a job jerking off monsters.
What? Yep. So this is another thing that you won't know about the world if you're not on TikTok because you think that you know everything in the world and that China is controlling things and whatever. That book talk is a scary and weird place. I don't even want to check it out because I don't want to get that stuff on my timeline, but I hear people talking about it. And it is essentially the female Gooners Club. It is essentially the female Gooners Club. They have reading lists and all of their books are just about this weird sexual stuff. And they just openly talk about it. It is insane. Well, I said women are the real perverts. Guys just like nice tits and a tight pussy. Yeah, that's it. I'm not out here trying to finger fuck a cow or some shit. Jesus.
No, I'm just kidding. She wouldn't degrade herself like that. She gets a job jerking off monsters.
So I find it very strange that we have all this sexual confusion in the younger generations the minute that tons of TV shows and children's books are telling kids to cross-dress.
So he's highlighted this as the increase in LGBT identification in recent years largely reflects the reflects the higher prevalence of such identities among the youngest U.S. adults compared with older generations. They're replacing in the U.S. adult population roughly 21% of Gen Z who have reached adulthood. These born between 97 and 03 identify as LGBT. That's nearly double the proportion of millennials who do so. And the gap widens even further when compared with older generations. And of course, we see Gen Z, almost 21%. Millennial is 10.5%. Gen X, 4%. Baby boomers, 2%. And before that, I'm surprised that there's any, but 0.8%. I mean, yeah, damn. Gooning. That's what that means. So they're all, I mean, come on, equality. Context clues. They're talking about smut. They're gooning.
And considering that the wokies themselves are saying that this type of behavior leads to suicidal ideation.
Yep. Highlighted portion. The share of U.S. adults who are transgender is particularly high among young adults. Among adults younger than 25. In this age group, 3.1% are trans man or trans women, compared to just 0.5% of self-deletions in the normies.
And considering that the wokies themselves are saying that this type of behavior leads to suicidal ideation, they are essentially admitting that they're infecting kids with mental health issues.
I hear someone's not feeling well. Let's take a look at the little man.
Yes, that is a male child.
Can I please talk to you two outside? I know that you guys are busy, but as you would see, if you looked at her and not her chart, Bailey is not a boy. And by treating her like one, you are completely ignoring who she is. You're making her feel insignificant and humiliated.
Feeling insignificant better or worse than being dead? Just wondering.
Ignoring who she is. You're making her feel insignificant and humiliated. And that's not going to help her feel good or safe or calm. So, from here on out, please recognize her for who she is.
I apologize.
I bet the retards who wrote that incredibly preachy scene thought it was glorious and deserving of a standing ovation.
Oh, you think you did a thing? You think you did a thing? Let's see what Blair's got.
That was so embarrassing. You know the libs just eat that up. You know it's a bitch crying behind that.
That scene came from another Netflix show called The Babysitter's Club that aired back in 2020. Just in case you weren't aware, The Babysitter's Club was a popular book series.
Where y'all at in the chat? The chat hasn't moved. Y'all alive? What we doing?
That girls would read when I was in elementary school, just to give you an idea of the age of the target audience. And I have to say that regardless of the argument being made, you have to have zero respect for the audience's intelligence to preach to them like this. This kind of soapbox-style writing is designed for morons, and it's about as annoying as modern games giving constant tutorials for the dumbest stuff like, press A to jump. Did you know that jump?
Press X to doubt.
Is how you can get over obstacles and avoid enemy attacks? Yeah, no shit. I have no idea why video games do this when the natural impulse when you first turn on a game is to press all the buttons and see what they do.
This game doesn't treat you like you're retarded. They know you're retarded because you bought the game.
Not being able to see
because you bought the game
or respect the intellectual ability of others is a trait of dumb people.
When you look at the staff of Netflix, you can start to really see demons. Hamish Steele, this guy is a they Blue Sky user. This person, of course, was one of the, Charlie Kirk grave spitters. This is the person making kids cartoons.
What are they saying? Why the fuck are you even commenting on this, dickhead? Your sympathy for any of the families being slaughtered by your own weapons, but a random Nazi gets shot, and it's a public statement. You're such fucking evil as shit. Why? Like, I have nothing against cursing. Well, actually, I went back to that poll. Do you say cursing or swearing? Or cussing? I don't have an issue with it. Like, yeah, I'm fucking this, fucking that all the time. But the people who feel like they need to use it, like ubiquitous in every single sentence, it really does make you look dumb. It really does make you look dumb.
Of course. I bet that most of the people who write on these types of shows would have no problem with what he said about Charlie Kirk.
Nope.
This guy was a writer on that other...
They would probably celebrate it.
Netflix transgender propaganda show that people have been memeing called Dead End Paranormal Park. Anyway, to that prior point, giving children the exact answers to everything instead of fostering an environment where they can figure out the answers themselves removes their ability to critically think. And since it's coming from Netflix, I think it's a strategy that's done on purpose. That company is so nefarious with children's content that they will throw something like this 5 seasons into a show.
The truth is, Sammy, I've fallen for you.
I know. I heard you earlier. I just wanted to hear you say it again because I've been wanting to hear you say that since I don't even know when.
Now, I've been a proponent of not being the type of person who is like, oh, there's a gay, I'm not watching this. Oh, there's a woman doing a thing that women can't usually do. I'm not watching this. But number one, that's for children. And number two, what is the point? What is the point? There's other places where the fact that you are that is your quote unquote character flaw. I'm not saying being gay is a flaw, but I'm saying that if you just have, the Superman problem where, nothing can hurt him, nothing can do anything, then it's not an interesting character. And so the conflict that they have to deal with is, being gay in a southern town or whatever. I know, as long as it makes sense and it's not gratuitous, I don't really care. But it's when you start being preachy, and especially when you go after the children.
Imagine you're a parent and you trust that there's an innocent show for your kids about dinosaurs. You don't want to be a helicopter parent and look over their shoulder for everything they watch because that's bad for their development. So after you've already given the show your trust in season 1, several seasons later, they randomly insert LGBT content into it. And now you have to have an uncomfortable conversation with your 6-year-old who's not ready for this kind of information. I mean, as a parent, I'd be pretty pissed about that. In fact, I would cancel my subscription over this. Now, if you're kind of shy.
Now, that's a good point. If I had kids, the decision to cancel Netflix or not would be weighed much more heavily. I didn't really think about that. But I mean, again, we can't be perfect, and if having a Netflix subscription is the worst thing that I do, then I think we'll be all right.
About this because there's a show on Netflix that you like, then how about you just cancel for a few months? Try it out. You can always come back, and believe me, if people start canceling even for just a few months, they're going to feel it. This is grooming, and for a more classic example, you even have the Steven Universe showrunner saying they specifically waited like 50 episodes into the show to force feed in a lesbian relationship.
We kept Ruby and Sapphire hidden from the network until 2014 when we finally made Jailbreak, and as expected, we got the note that these characters cannot be in a romantic relationship. I said that they are. They sing a song about it. They're in love. The song's already been...
Oh, the music behind it's so inspirational because of the gays. There was a gay. Oh, my Lord.
I said that they are. They sing a song about it. They're in love. The song's already been recorded. We can't take it out. We got the characters in. And from then on, every episode with Ruby and Sapphire was a big uphill battle, but it was one that I was willing to fight.
And again, notice how much it's about her. I was willing to fight this. I'm going to be the one that's going to show all of this inappropriate stuff to your children. What? Why is that a feather in your cap? Why is that something that you're looking for? That's a bad thing. Even if that was, maybe you want to keep that to yourself, sweetie.
On every episode with Ruby and Sapphire was a big uphill battle, but it was one that I was willing to fight. I would compromise on other things, but I would not compromise on Ruby and Sapphire.
Why does this need to be in a show?
Beautiful. Oh, what a warrior. What a warrior.
Not compromise on Ruby and Sapphire.
Why does this need to be in a show for kids? I'm not even kidding with how fucked up this is.
Oh, well, let's see what this says.
Why does this need to
it says, hi, Alex. I'm Steve-Oni. My pronouns are they, them. Hey, Steve-Oni. This is my friend Alex. Nice to meet you. I use they, them pronouns too. Question being, why
be in a show for
does this need to be in a kid's show?
For kids. I'm not even kidding with how fucked up this is.
Hey, when we're older, let's get married.
What?
Why? Why is that a thing?
Hey, when we're older, let's get married.
Why are these little kids in a gay relationship? Their voices haven't even dropped yet. But this is just on the Cartoon Network YouTube page now. It's clearly grooming, and people don't want this shit in children's media because it's forcing them to have conversations with their kids that they aren't old enough for. And I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of these writers are childless.
I took my grandson to see
Toy Story?
Not that one, but
the new Buzz, the Lightyear.
So we watching it, and the lady, which is Kiki's mama, she had a baby with a woman. So my grandson in the middle of the movie like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, shit.
Now, I used to be much less willing to kind of hear this argument that, oh, well, you have to have an uncomfortable conversation. And I would be a little bit more like, not really. You can say, well, two ladies can have babies too. But then it leads to more and more questions. And what do we call a series of question and answers? A conversation. Shout out to Kelly Green. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you, sir. Said, lock the fuckers up, pushing the child. G. Rooming. I'm right there with you, brother. Right there with you. Welcome to the party.
Sloop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, shit. I didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie. I'm scared to go to the movies now. Like, y'all throwing me in the middle of shit that I don't have an answer for.
Right. It's inappropriate. 5-year-olds don't need to know how babies are made, nor do they need to understand every single nuance of adult relationships.
And even to give the greatest benefit of the doubt, if you feel that it is appropriate for your 5-year-old to be talking about this stuff, then you talk about it. You sit down and have that conversation. I would hope that you wouldn't, because I don't think that's a good idea. But it definitely is better than grooming all children, because you don't want to have a conversation. So I completely came around on that one. Shout out to Enough of the Drums. Welcome to the party. Is it his birthday? Well, Dilly does know. Welcome to the party. Let's dive back in here.
Girls don't need to know how babies are made, nor do they need to understand every single nuance of adult relationships. So why is this stuff in kid shows? Can they even tell anyone the social harm of waiting until kids are post-puberty to discuss this stuff? No, they can't, because there isn't one. The only harm is a decrease in stock prices for pharmaceutical companies because they won't be able to sell as many puberty blockers.
If any parents are concerned that if they do not show their kids LGBT kids cartoons, that they are somehow going to grow up to be someone who is intolerant or confused or not educated on these issues.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Shout out to Liberty Plus TV. That it's my birthday. Is it your birthday? I kind of feel like you just want to dilly, but I love you, brother. So whether it's your birthday or not, happy birthday and dilly to you, sir. Welcome to the party.
Someone who is intolerant or confused or not educated on these issues. I promise you a gay motherfucker will find a way to be gay. If your kid ultimately, their destiny is to be trans later in life and they make that informed decision and that's their life journey, I promise you they're going to get there without needing to be propagandized about it first.
But I can't stress enough to young people how in the 90s.
What does this one say? If they weren't grooming kids, they wouldn't be so mad when we asked them to leave them alone. Yep.
These things like this didn't exist. Yes, there were gays, but people weren't identifying as trans left and right. Certainly kids weren't. I think until...
And again, as we just saw, as the numbers bear out, 10% of millennials now today, well, I don't know, I mean, as of the time of that study, only 10%, and it's doubled in one generation. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. And they try to use the left-handed chart. Remember when Lance from the Surfs brought that on the Culture War, thinking he did a thing? And like, okay, but now we're going past that. Now, like, if you expected it to go like that and then plateau, that should have happened over the last 3 years. That didn't happen. It's only exploded. Even as we, who are against this stuff, are winning the culture war. So it is clearly not just, just like left-handedness. Shout out to 8GK. Welcome to the party. Very good to see ya. How we doing? Don't forget to hit the poll, guys. I'm interested to see what you guys
say. Yes, there were gays, but people weren't identifying as trans left and right. Certainly kids weren't. I think until after gay marriage was fully legalized in like 2015 and the LGBT activist groups ran out of a cause to fight for, I had seen maybe like one trans person in my entire life. All of this is manufactured, and people are now picking up genders like they pick up the weird porn fetishes that you see in Turkey Tom videos.
Oof.
Ooh, I like your pins.
In case you didn't see that, yep. I like your pins. She, they. What is it? What is the mindset where you're okay with going by she, but you want other people to call you they? Actually, no, both of them. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, hey, look, I'm always willing to learn. I just had a VTuber up here last night. And I learned some shit. I'm willing to learn, but it don't make no fucking sense.
Ooh, I like your pins. I am Nightshade. My pronouns are they, them.
Thanks. I'm Sam. I'm she, they. Sometimes the world can be a scary place.
So we make up words and it's all perfect now. Shout out to Time Traveler. Welcome to the party. Said lunch is a beast. Well, thank you. Shout out to Kelly Green. Under the jail. Welcome, Time Traveler, to the party.
Hard to know who's dangerous or not. Hey.
Yeah, it's hard to know who's dangerous or not. So if you just change your pronouns, then you automatically know they're one of the good guys.
A scary place. It's hard to know who's dangerous or not. Hey, it's okay. I know I'm safe when I'm with my friends or other non-binary people.
I was joking. This is the mindset that, oh, if you're non-binary, you are safe.
What? Oh, hell no.
I'm not saying if you're non-binary, you're not safe. But if I had to guess if you're safe or not safe, and all I knew about you is that you were non-binary, I am not picking safe. Hey, we got Kelly Greenery in the building. Welcome to the party. No, I see what's going on. Thank you, and welcome.
Hey, I know I'm safe when I'm with my friends or other non-binary people.
Are you sure you want to go down that route? I feel safe when I'm around people who are just like me. Imagine if a white person said that.
As you guys know, I'm Irish, so
We don't have to imagine.
it's close to me. I am not from here, obviously, but it's really cool to come somewhere and like everybody looks exactly like you.
How dare you?
What did she say?
Damn, that sounded super racist. Here, I'll fix it by having a black person say it.
Coming to Ghana has been great. It's the first time in my life that I'm not black. Here it's like, everybody's black, so you don't even think about being black. It's beautiful. Yeah. Coming to a place where you're the majority is very empowering.
Gee, that was a close one. Now let's go back to telling white people.
Well, is that racist? I mean, I know black people can't be racist, but it seemed pretty racist.
That they're evil for being born the wrong skin color.
Hi, everybody. I'm at the Bastards barbecue right now. All my friends are in there. I don't really understand. So you're not letting me in because of my hairstyle? Correct. Yeah.
The cannibalization of the left. All she's missing is the nose ring, unless I can't properly see it. Is that an event? Oh, nope, there it is. I thought we missed one, but yep. Nose ring theory rings true once again. But yeah, she's a lefty trying to get into a lefty place, party, whatever.
Hi, everybody. I'm at the Bastards barbecue right now. All my friends are in there. I don't really understand. So you're not letting me in because of my hairstyle? Correct.
Yeah,
So-
if it doesn't align with a culture that...
Jarek, they won't, I'm filming right now, but they won't let me in because I have dreadlocks. They won't let me in because I have dreadlocks.
Yeah, that's cultural appropriation, sweetie. All right, stay in your lane. Other people have gone through things or something. So there's people, the people that think that black-only dormitories are not racist, which is wild. It's the clearest example of doublespeak, newspeak, however you want to frame it. It is very clearly segregating black people here. Oh, but that's not racist. Then what is racist? Apparently everything that is not bigotry against a certain race. If I started the Kelly Green's white-only dormitory, I'm sure that would be a hit with the public. I don't know about that, but hey, Liberty, a good point. I support not letting liberal white women in anywhere. Except my bedroom. Let's go.
But they won't let me in because I have dreadlocks. They won't let me in because I have dreadlocks, and they're trying to show me that this way.
To them that we have a cultural appropriation policy.
But this is retarded. I just drove 5 hours to get here.
Also, like,
Why? What is there? Let's not even get into it. Why not? Real quick. Let's see if they fixed the sounds. Do we get an echo?
Another one.
Echo or no echo? Larry said Democrats trick blacks into supporting their own infantilization, sterilization, genocide, and enslavement. Bingo. I said shit. Facts. This is why my whole thing is that the greatest threat to Black Americans is the Black community TM. Because the Democrats have created exactly what Liberty just said. I'll admit, setting Islanders represented. Seeing Islanders represented in a movie or two is cool. But I don't need to be surrounded by that shit. That's why I only see my family a few times a year. There you go. Yeah, I never understood this. I never, ever understood this. Because yeah, you can see stereotypes of Black people and women in movies, but let's talk about Asian stereotypes. Let's talk about Indian stereotypes. They're funny. They're not representative of Indian American people, but they're funny. And you don't see Indian people or Asian people going, oh, like nobody cares about that. Why? How did Black people and women suddenly become so enraged that they need to, that's me. No, it's not you. You're watching a movie. Libby said it would be impressive if it weren't so evil. I would feel bad if they weren't unapologetically benefiting off my demise. Yeah, but again, there we go. Principles are principles. I don't want annoying liberal women to be treated differently because under the law because they're annoying and liberal. Now, culturally, that's a whole different story. But legally, that's the name of the game.
Appropriation policy.
But this is retarded. I just drove 5 hours to get here.
What did you just say? I missed that the first time. Hey, shout out to the captain of the moral felon crew, Adam, in the building. Welcome to the parties. And the same struggles when I was an altar boy. The struggle is real. Yikes. I hope you are dealing with that well in therapy. Welcome to the party. Adam says the greatest threat to Black families are guards because they keep them from going back to their kids. Guards? What? Right over my head. What? I don't get the joke. The last Crowder video made me a full-blown racist. I mean, I get it, but the problem is that it's a difference of seeing patterns and then applying patterns to the people that you haven't seen them with. We can see that, Rob Noor just posted the part of when he was on the prison guard. There you go. Sorry. That was a good one. I'll give you the dilly, but I missed it. Sorry about that. There you go. The greatest threat to the Black families are the prison guards because they keep them from going back to their kids. There you go. There we go. Took a while, but we found it. And yeah, Rob Noor just posted the clip from when he was on this channel and we were talking about, being an atheist in the Republican space and talking about how, we need to be in a coalition together. That as long as we have the same values, that's what politics is about. And religion should be related, but a different thing. This is a very similar type of thing. We don't want to become the racists that they think we are. They are the ones that are wrong. We are the ones that are right. And so by knowing that we are right and having confidence in being right because we are willing to be proven wrong, and that hasn't happened, then you just play the game of the marketplace of ideas. Eventually, if you stand up and I stand up and we all stand up, and we're not, like the mainstream media saying the exact same line, but sending the same ideals, the same values, why do we think that wouldn't change things? And it is changing things. Every single demographic, except for these, went for Trump in larger numbers. It is working. Like I said at the beginning, we are winning the culture war, but it is far from over. It is far from over.
And then we have a cultural appropriation policy.
But this is retarded. I just drove 5 hours to get here.
Also, like, even that language, I don't want used in the venue as
Oh my
well. So
gosh.
it's like,
I mean, I don't even I'm kind of on the guard side on this point. Like, if you're a place where you're getting stopped at the door because of cultural appropriation, then maybe you could put two and two together that might not like you using the word retard. Like, do you want to get inside, or do you just want to express yourself? Like, they voted for it. They pushed for it. They screamed at us for not being this. And now they got to deal with it. You made the bed. Time to lie in it.
we have a cultural appropriation policy.
But this is retarded. I just drove 5 hours to get here.
Also, like, even that language, I don't want used in the venue as
Oh my
well. So
gosh.
it's like,
Oh man, pulling out the R word, that's messed up. But allow me to use this clip to point out that again, all of this outrage is manufactured.
Okay, so 38% of you said you use another word beside cursing, cussing, or swearing, and not one person has said anything in the chat. I hate you guys. Why do I even try? Why do I even try? Oh, let's be engaged with the chat so they love watching the show. Fuck you. I'm not talking to anybody. All right? Taking the chat off the screen. I'm just going to do what I do.
That's messed up. But allow me to use this clip to point out that again, all of this outrage is manufactured by political radicals. Even people who are slightly right of Karl Marx don't like it. This is like a gay music festival or whatever.
That's why. The Birdhouse. This is a queer space. Please be respectful. Let's see. Please be respectful of each other and the space. We make the event safer together. Zero tolerance for transphobia, racism, misogyny, body shaming, all other forms of bigotry, and other oppressive behavior. And then, basic stuff. But yeah, I mean, hey, it's posted there. It's posted there. This is a private business, and they don't want cultural appropriators in their business. What's the issue?
People who are slightly right of Karl Marx don't like it. This is like a gay music festival or whatever with a sign that ironically says they have a zero tolerance policy for all forms of bigotry and oppressive behavior.
That's that shit. Me too.
So this dreadlock lady is probably on the left if she's going to an event like this.
Okay, well then I would like my money back in cash. I would rather go in.
Oh, going into Karen mode. Going into Karen mode.
Okay, well then I would like my money back in cash. I would rather go in and not have to make myself look like a total retard because I think.
Oh, you already did that. You already did that. And I don't think don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. I am not on the side of the queer space. I'm just on the side that you're wrong.
I would rather go in and not have to make myself look like a total retard because I've been camping for like.
You're also using the R word on this and trying to look good.
No, that's what I'm allowed to call myself whatever I want.
The word
Not in the UK, as we saw before. That lady called herself a spaz and is now facing charges, criminal charges. Shout out to Morgan's Hammer. Welcome to the party over on Rumble. Said like and shared again. Thank you so very, very much, guys. That really, really does help. I cannot stress enough how much liking the video, sharing the video, commenting on the video, commenting on the stream after it's done. All of that stuff really, really, really does help. It's free, it's easy for you, and it helps me out so much. So I very, very much appreciate it. Yes, Morgoth, that excluded.
Good.
that's what
I'm allowed to call myself whatever I want.
The word retard is not okay in the world and in this.
So, okay, then call yourself the N-word. I bet you won't do that. I bet you see the issue with that based on your own logic. Right? But because you're in your fifis, then the rules no longer apply.
Call myself whatever I want.
The word retard is not okay in the world and in this venue.
Oh man, she R-worded again. What's wrong with her? Wait, what are the...
She's stupid and self-entitled. Self-entitled? And she's entitled. You ain't gonna say that, lady. You ain't gonna say that, lady.
In the world and in this venue.
Oh man, she R-worded again. What's wrong with her? Wait, what are the rules on this? Because I know if it was the N-word they were talking about, they wouldn't say the full word.
I promise you, but as soon as I saw that clip, as soon as I saw the clip of this lady, that's when I was like, all right, we're covering this. I did not know he was gonna make the same point. Do you believe me?
It would just say the N-word. So why are they saying retard and not the R-word if it's so offensive?
What if like somebody comes with braids in their hair?
If that is not with their culture.
Braids are not dreads, okay? It's their culture, not yours.
Like somebody comes with braids in their hair.
If that is not with their culture, if they are appropriating another culture, they will be asked to leave.
I'm native as well. It's totally unfair.
The old Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas, she's native now. She's native, so why didn't you lead with that? Why didn't you lead with that? You'd be like, oh, no, it's okay, I'm native. And they would have been like, oh, okay, you said the magic word, so now that changes reality. You're allowed in. But now you're just coping.
Another culture, they will be asked to leave.
I'm native as well. It's totally unfair and I'm being discriminated
So
against.
the Birdhouse is committed to creating an anti-racist environment. This was made very carefully with the Black community in our space.
That's hilarious because Black girls appropriate white women's hair all the time. See,
I've said this recently on the channel before, but I knew that wearing wigs and hair pieces and stuff was a popular thing with Black women. I didn't know that if you asked me, if you showed me this picture and you were like, okay, pick out which ones are in their natural hair and which ones don't. I would probably say, this is before, I'd probably say natural hair, natural hair, natural hair, natural hair, natural hair. I definitely would have thought this was natural hair just because of who she is. And then this one too, natural. I would have thought those were all natural hair. Not a one of them. I mean, maybe this one, but not a one of them. And obviously, he's showcasing the fact that it's blonde, not necessarily the hairstyle on this one. But yep, rules for thee, but not for me.
Seems like a very privileged and racist position to say that a white person can't do a thing that you're allowed to do because they were born the wrong skin color.
Can I just say, literally this August, a white person said the N-word in front of me.
Nobody cares. Black people say that word constantly. You can't be that offended by it. The only reason...
Wait, yeah, nobody fucking told me. You guys are pissing me off tonight. Did anybody... Is there an echo with the sounds?
Nobody really cares. Nobody really cares.
Is there an echo with the sounds? Shout out to Equality and Deference because vagina getting us started on that swole goal with the $5. Thank you so very, very much. Can I say that? Equality said darkies. Look, said Equality. Look so strange with blonde hair. Someone had to say it. Well, I'm glad it wasn't me, but I mean, I guess it was me. But thank you so very, very much. Thank you, Guam Tech. Every single stream, I've been telling them, "Hey, my sounds are echoing," and they don't say anything. Is it bad enough that I shouldn't use it, or is it just like an annoying thing? Like this one, just booing. That one's probably not that bad. It seems a little bad. Like that one's probably not too bad, but like that's not gonna be like, is that still usable or what are we talking about? All right. Liberty said, I always mark down indigenous on every form that asks for race. I am literally indigenous since I am born on this land. Words have meanings. The appropriating white people hair isn't a great argument because their excuse for doing it is that their hair is considered unprofessional and they are forced to fit in. I mean, fair enough. I'm not even like that's kind of stupid. I think the whole conversation is stupid, but that's not an unfair thing. We definitely have seen women in particular get with their natural hair and be like, oh, that doesn't really fit our aesthetic. So I'll take that. But just the idea of cultural appropriation is fucking stupid to begin with. Well, like I said, what odds? Even a derogatory term. What is even? Yeah, I don't know. You're not important enough. You're not important enough to get slurs. You fucking fake Asian person. That's the best I got. That's the best I got. Shout out again to Equality. Guys, remember every single donation comes with a treat for Morty. Thank you.
Black people say that word constantly. You can't be that offended by it. The only reason you're pretending to care is because you want to use it as a tool to unfairly gain power by playing the victim, or you want to use it to spread racial hatred of white people. I mean, how have these people skated by all these years without being called racist when they are very obviously extremely racist? Like, more racist than the average person. As for the white people from the queer music festival, wait, isn't queer a slur? It definitely used to be a slur, so I don't see how they can be mad about that girl using the R word. But these white people hate other white people so much that they have no idea of the obscene amounts of money that black women spend straightening their hair or buying wigs to try and make it look like a white girl's hair.
If you're offended by minorities talking about their lived experiences, you're the problem.
If you're making TikToks in this type of way, you're the problem. This is Think Before You Sleep. Again, the link to the video is in the description, but think before you sleep. And again, that's us saying it's ironic that we just happen to be doing a faceless channel right after talking to our VTuber. Caller said, yeah, that one, yeah. Okay, so thank you, Equality, for actually answering the questions. See you in Quamsack. I guess only you guys can hear it. So the booing one was fine. All right, so I'll try to keep that in mind while they fix it. Eventually, they should fix it. But, you know.
A white girl's hair.
If you're offended by minorities talking about their lived experiences, you're the problem. If you're offended by women saying they're afraid of men, you're the problem.
Someone needs to show this chick crime statistics and then ask her which men women are afraid of. Sorry, I'm not sorry. All these complainers need to get with the program or shut the fuck up. No one cares about your lived experiences or how it's okay for you to be a degenerate criminal who deserves reparations for shit that you didn't live through. In fact, I might say that some of these people's lived experiences are going to become quite uncomfortable when we start giving judges capital punishment for releasing people who have committed 25 felonies in a 10-year period out into polite society. And also, in my opinion, things are about to become real uncomfortable for the educators who have been pushing sexual deviancy onto children.
I'm a mom of 2 in Fairfax County.
And this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. I don't know exactly what she's about to say, but the notion that the culture war is not over because the people who are in the fight, so to speak, those sides, the left is losing, the wokeness is losing. But that is a very small portion of the larger voting population. We have to keep in mind that we still need to bring the normies in. We still need to fight for the normies. The normies still have a bias that, oh, Republican equals bad, right-wing equals bad, Christian equals bad. That is still an overwhelmingly ubiquitous state of mind. Liberty said, as a poor white, I don't know what that word is, man, I have never had anybody care about my lived experience. I care about your lived experience, just not being because of your money or your color or anything else. The culture war won't be over until politics isn't involved in culture.
Bingo.
Exactly. And unfortunately, I thought, not a full side quest, but a little bit of a side quest, just an aside, if you will. So, Speakeasy of Verbal Combat invited me to debate Andrew Wilson on should prostitution be legal? And I, of course, was going to come from the libertarian position that it should be, because just because you don't like it, we don't want the government to be the arbiters of morality. Now, he said, or Speakeasy told me, that Andrew's decided not to do panels. So it would be, similar to the Raging Tomato in the panelverse. It would be one-on-one, and then they would open the panel. And so I don't know why he can't have the debate and then just not be part of the panel. But so we have someone else set up for that. It is going to be November 4th. But the why did I bring that up? I forgot why I brought that up. Shit. Well, November 4th, I will be debating why prostitution should be legal, and it's not going to be because I think prostitution is good. Yeah, caller says the mighty and Wooskin. I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We just had all of this drama with the panelverse, so it makes sense that he doesn't want to do that. Oh, thank you. There you go. This is what I need. So the coming from speaking about the prostitution thing, I want the culture. I want people to not want to be prostitutes. I want people to not want to be Johns because of the culture, not because The police are going to get you. I don't think that is good. And, people will make arguments about, places where it's legal, there's more SA. That's exactly why we need to regulate these things so that we can fix the problems. Just saying that there's problems doesn't change anything when there's no regulation about it. And again, I'm coming from a libertarian perspective. So it being legalized then creates a market for it and a culture. The culture, man. But yeah, so the normies, we have to bring the normies in, and the normies are still, maybe not overwhelmingly, people are definitely waking up, people are definitely getting red pilled, but your average person, if you line up 100 people, there's still going to be more people who think gender affirming care is good than don't. There's still going to be more people who think Trump is evil and racist than don't. Maybe it's not as bad. Maybe it's not 80-20 like it was 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. But at best, it's 60-40. At best. Shout out to B. Hey, welcome to the party. Excuse me. Said I say something culturally or racially offensive, if I stub my toe or something, I'll yell out, "Fuck me!" Well, that shouldn't be racially or culturally offensive. And since you're asking, yes, I will. Show me them heavies, girl. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you. Libby said, regulations don't fix the problems. We just need to decriminalize so that people can actually take their johns to court if they get raped. Well, that's exactly what I mean. So the regulation, so government regulation is inherently a bad thing. Government regulation is a bad thing. But regulation in and of itself is not inherently bad. And so that's exactly what I'm calling for. Exactly what I'm calling for is a situation where if you are aggrieved in whatever way, that you're not hidden away from the legal system because you already did a bad thing. There's a reason. There's a reason why people like hookers and johns and drug dealers and drug users get robbed at a rate infinitely higher than people who don't do those things. Because there's no recourse. I'm saying leave it to your loved ones to find the best racist terms for you. There you go. The worst part about black markets is not having arbitration. Bingo. Exactly. All right. So I don't remember if this lady is a normie specifically, but that was where my mind went when we're talking about this.
Pushing sexual deviancy onto children.
I'm a mom of 2 in Fairfax County. This is my oldest, and my husband and I have a difficult decision to make this fall as he is approaching preschool age, and we are faced with the decision of whether or not we are going to put our child in public school system where Fairfax County has decided to move forward with instituting gender studies in elementary school.
So notice what she said. She did not say, "We are taking my child out of the public school system." She said, we have to have a conversation. We have to think about this very clearly. So the fact that gender studies in elementary school is not a deal breaker means that we have work to do. Liberty said an ANCAP would say that you could buy a property and make a community that bans P-Hub and toots. That's why the Christian right should get on board with ANCAPs. They can have a U.S. Vatican. I completely agree. Completely agree. Like I say all the time, Christian conservatives never stop shooting themselves in the foot. Never. One day you will learn. I'm not asking you to not believe, but I am right. And one day you're going to figure out. The government will just force Christians to live around people they don't want to. It doesn't have to be like this. I'm telling you.
Forward with instituting gender studies in elementary school.
Yeah, throw them all in jail. From a technical standpoint, this is not pedophilia, but it's certainly adjacent, and unnecessarily teaching prepubescent kids sexual topics in school outside of basic biology should be a crime that lands you prison time or worse. There are not nearly enough teachers and school board members going to jail for this.
Despite having done a study group, a focus group in the community to see if parents even wanted this. And when parents said no, the board voted 16-0 and said we're moving forward anyways.
So again, good thing that the parents are saying no, but the institutional power is not with those parents.
This shows clearly that they see parents not as partners, but as an obstacle for their agenda.
More evidence that this entire school board should be arrested. You don't think these types of people should be in prison or worse? Look at this.
Yeah, dilly to her. Speaking out, where maybe your life isn't such that it is easy for you to speak out. I don't have a corporate job. I've specifically made what I think about the world the focus of my life. So I'm not really risking that much by saying, oh, we should not be transiting kids. But depending on where she works, depending on the school system, depending on her community, depending on all of these things, that might be much, much, much more difficult for her. And so it is up to people like myself and people like you guys who have the balls and the ability to speak out so that other people feel safer to speak out. The majority agrees with us. They just don't know. They don't know what they want. That was the point of the Steve Jobs quote. People don't know what the fuck they want until I give it to them. He's not calling you stupid. He's calling people stupid. Remember Men in Black? You know, people. A person is smart. People are dumb. Behave said the only reason men impregnate these modern women is because they give up their gaping mayonnaise jars easy. Oh, men have low standards when they crave a warm hole.
Bingo.
Yup. Is it warm? Is it a hole? Let's go. Facts. We got another one here.
Be arrested. You don't think these types of people should be in prison or worse? Look at this.
So here's what I'm asking you. You have a hard time hearing this from me, but this is for 10 years old and up, and this bill was passed for 5-year-olds. And you have a hard time me sitting here telling you the words anal sex, masturbation. That's hard for you, or the time's up? Because the time's not really up. I don't believe you, Mr. Wiley, that my time is up.
Approved.
Well, dilly to her. Speaking out is all we have. Speaking out is all we have. They have the institutions. It's grains of sand that makes the heap. Individual contribution in a vacuum doesn't really do much. But 10,000, a million individuals, well, that's a much different story. Yeah, this is the whole thing about not all boys are blue or all boys are not blue or whatever. The gay BCs, gender queer, the D's nuts, and what was the other one? I like to have 5 there, but you know, those 5 books that they were saying, oh, they're banning books. Like, no, they're just taking them out of schools. They're still all available in bookstores, often advertised, and on Amazon or wherever else you get books, just not in the school library. Like said, time is finite. Sometimes you just got to settle so you can pass on your seed and hope your son finds a better woman. Fair enough. I don't know if I would take that risk, but you know, you do you. You do you. More God's Hammer said we also technically have assassinations too, just a slightly more extreme example. Yeah, I mean it's not looking good. It's not looking good. It's looking better, but it's not looking good.
For 5-year-olds, the fact that there is no sentencing for this stuff is ridiculous. More and more we hear stories like this next one because these sick fucks have been allowed to get away with it.
In early May of 2021,
Oof. I did see this. I saw this separately. This. Oof. All right. Trigger warning.
Next one because these sick fucks have been allowed to get away with it.
In early May of 2021, my wife and I were asked by our daughter if she could attend Jenna Reap's after-school anime club at Wellington Middle School.
The anime club in middle school. So remember yesterday, we had a VTuber And I was asking, like, hey, doesn't that kind of, invite a type of crowd that, is, now, Mac isn't a political guy. So, if he's fine with that, then, he's just playing games and doing stuff. So that's not necessarily his responsibility, regardless of what we think, to be telling people, I don't like the way that you live. That's what we're here for. But the anime club, anyone surprised? You don't even know what's happened yet, but you know it's not good. Is anybody surprised?
Attend Jenna Reap's after-school anime club at Wellington Middle School. Knowing there's a lot of inappropriate anime, we reluctantly gave our permission, trusting PSD to provide a safe, age-appropriate environment for our child.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I love Japan, but anime has a lot of stuff in it that's inappropriate for middle schoolers. There's a reason why Toonami and 4Kids back in the 90s used to edit anime like crazy. Anyway, so after going to this anime club for middle schoolers, this guy's 12-year-old daughter tries to end her life.
End her life? What are you talking about? About TV shows. Cartoon TV shows. That makes you want to end your life as a middle schooler? Well, I said, if there's anything that can generate lethal rage, harming people's children is at the top of the fucking list. Yep. And yeah, I definitely agree. Homeschool your fucking kids. I don't know. Again, I don't have children. But from what I understand about the world, I don't know if you have children, other than making sure that they're in a 2-parent household, it seems like homeschooling is maybe, at this point, the greatest advantage that you could give to your children, aside from like already being rich and stuff like that. Liberty Plus said, people I know who are into anime are not doing well. One of them is dating a stripper that gets ran through by Testing. Are we good? Let me know. Exactly. That is how bad it was. But yeah, I want to get back into the discussion. And I should have, I'd forgotten about the interview. I was, I was tired from the night before. I was hungover. I was, running home. What I should have done, because I think he was, set up and ready. I should have just had him in the Discord and then stream the Discord to the I could have just had the Discord open. Like, imagine that's the Discord, and then we're there in the Discord. Then I wouldn't even needed my camera here, and you could have just seen it like that. I like my setup here, but we weren't watching things anyway, so we were just in this position. So I should have done that. But yeah, we're gonna bring him back, and eventually, and we're gonna talk about this, because I that is another aspect of why do you want to go into this space. So specifically what I was asking him was, why do you want to spend the money and do do that instead of just have a faceless channel like we're watching right now? Has anybody been disengaged because every time he's talking he just has these random pictures? I mean, I'm sure people could be more invested, but I don't know that it's necessarily worth it when you're creating a niche of people who are inherently more likely to be the type of person, the basement dweller, perpetual gooner, follows all these different anime VTubers, all these P-Hub stars, that kind of person. And so even if it's a matter of, well, I want to express myself, but I don't want to be I don't want to have my face on camera. That's another aspect that you need to take into account. And I mean, he's a smaller channel, so I don't know like at what level the toxicity really comes into play, but we'll definitely have him back. Let me set a sub for your format and stayed for the chat. I guess you're pretty cool too. Yes, you guys are amazing. Amazing. Thank you. What is going on with birthdays? If it's Snoop, if it's Liberty, if it's anybody else, it is your birthday. Happy birthday. Let me say, infotainment does not need a face. It's better to focus on the content. I agree. But even if you're doing gaming, then it's like, why not just, I have my I have my logo thingy. I have this thing, but I also have well, it should be here by now. But my South Park version, different things where it's like you could just put it on the screen, or even let's just say that we were watching this, right? And I wanted to talk about all the same things that I want to talk about, but I didn't want to have my face on camera. So then whenever, it doesn't have to be this specifically. I mean, this is my face. But, playing the video, we do this. And then when I talk, I just put this picture up. And then we go back. Ooh, I didn't know what was going on here. So this is very interesting. Let's hear. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, there we go. There's that beautiful face. And again, I get it that some people are, well, I think all people are insecure about the way they look. But, if you're chopped, you're chopped. Fair enough. I think depending on what space you're in, that's just the name of the game. Like, that might be something in the beginning. But ugly people make it online all the time. I mean, I'm skinny as shit. You can't see my height, but I have issues with my teeth and everything. I used to have perfect teeth. And then the drugs. Oh, the drugs. Libby said live streaming and building a community, not so much, but the informational videos are probably hurt by people judging the individual looks. Perhaps. I thought you said you had the heavies. Now I definitely need a picture. Behave. Come on. We got to figure this out. But I'm thinking, especially if you're playing video games, like, again, just have the little thing in the corner. Nobody's watching you specifically unless you're very animated. And people are watching the game. So, I don't know. I do get it a lot more than I did before I talked to Mac, but just fucking get over it. Put your face out there. People are going to call you ugly. And then, all right, he's the ugly dude that's got some good points. I don't know. So I honestly listen to most things and do other things. I don't know how many adults are staring at your face for 3 hours. Yeah, exactly. That's my hands. I got newborn baby hands. Well, I mean, I got basically barely bigger than newborn baby size of my whole body, except where it counts. You know what I mean? All right, what are we doing? You know what's coming. Oh, well, it's already on the screen, but it was a sex and gender club. No sounds on the video. God damn it! Thank you, Womtech, the only one who is actually fucking helping the stream. That's why you got a wrench. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Let's back that up a little bit. Boom. There you go. Equality, helping out, guys. I like that. I need you to know. I need to know that stuff. So please don't feel like you're interrupting. If you let me know, it's better. All right.
Conversation that follows him bringing this up.
Not a single PSD employee reached out to us to understand what in the PSD environment may have contributed to her decision to end her life. It wasn't until May of this year when Wellington Middle School made the news that we had a much better understanding of what had happened and realized that our experience was not an isolated incident. Anime Club was actually a club about gender and sex, and when we asked our daughter if she was ever told to lie to us about it, she said she was told that students didn't have to talk to anyone about what was being said in that room.
It's a sex and gender club hiding behind anime, telling administrators and teachers, telling middle school children, as they're talking about sex and gender, that they don't have to, that they can keep this stuff from their from their parents.
Haram!
How did it get this bad? How did it get this bad? And so, yeah, it's great that people are waking up, but we have to still undo all of this bullshit. I'm saying that's what they keep telling. That's what keep telling they ladies, but they says it's because of my hands.
What?
All right. They're freaky. They're freaky. They said, I want a Coke bottle shape. I'm cursed with the upside down spoon. Upside down spoon. Well, you know what? I mean, what did Morgan said? If Behave has perky, symmetrical tits, she's good. Little sweater puppies count too. And I am of the opinion. That once you are past like your teen, like right post-pubescent stage, like, yeah, when you are 15 and you're looking at another 15-year-old, you want everything as big as possible. But when you're 30 and you're looking at, a woman 25 to 35 or whatever, do you know too well that you know that this turns into this. Eggs on a nail. So I mean, who doesn't love big titties? Who doesn't love big titties? Men, women, or otherwise. We all love big titties. What we don't love is saggy titties. So as we get older, the smaller tits tend to hold up better, both physically and metaphorically. They hold up better because there's not as much weight. Now, let's switch things around. Let's say you've got you got the heavies, but you got no ass. You little pancake at the back, right? Once you're over 25, approaching 30, maybe you've got great genetics and they're still up there at 32. Not happening, but let's just say next year then, we still got the droop, and now you ain't got no ass either. Titties is titties. Titties is titties. That's all I got to say on that. Getting back to it. Liberty said, if you're willing to have a dozen kids, don't worry about your looks. Just be healthy and express your desires for family. You'll weed out the boys and find the men. Hey, yo! Brilliant advice. As someone who's 35, single, and not really dating, but marriage-minded, I would love to be married and have a family. I'm not wading into the fucking cesspool that is dating right now, but I would love to have a wife and a family. I don't need you to be a fucking smoke show. Like, yeah, I want to be attracted to you. I don't want to be bagging some uglies. I don't be bagging some fucking 300-pound something. But, like, I'm short. I'm not perfect. If we can get it in, and we can get down, and we can have a good time, that's all we care about. That's all we care about. Golden Secretary, I worry about these kinds of things with my kids, but I do plan on helping them understand and avoid these kinds of degenerate groups for herself. Yes. We won't always be there to protect them.
Bingo.
There you go. There you go. The best we can do is prepare and help them fight for themselves. And I think in this this culture, the notion that if anybody, like I am always going to be on your side. There might be other people who have your back. You might have good friends. You might have teachers, mentors, whatever that have your back. But anybody can turn. I will never, ever, ever not be on your side. I hid an arrest, like a real arrest. I spent the night in jail when I could have just not. Because I didn't want to tell Papa Lutch that I'd gotten arrested. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just weed charges and stuff. But if I, at that point, because this was, as I told you guys, you know, we didn't really have a great relationship. And then as I got older, I pushed for us to have a better relationship. At that time, that was still when that was building. And I didn't know if he would even, like, if he was going to be mad, if he was going to be, you know, berate me, if he was going to say, no, you got to stay there. You got to, I didn't know. And so just letting them know, letting your kids know, and I'm telling you as a kid and not as a parent, letting your kid understand that, hey, you are going to fuck up. You're going to fuck. That's life. You're going to fuck up. You're going to have people around you. Might be some great people. Maybe people that are at your wedding and your funeral. But maybe not. I, as your father, I, as your mother, will always be on your side. So if anybody ever even suggests that you should keep something from me, they do not care about you. That should be an immediate red flag. And that's not a natural thing that a child would be expected to understand. So as somebody who still kind of feels like they're 14 in my mind, take that, maybe the only real advice that I can give to parents is as the child. Oh, yeah, right. Imagine I have 6 foot, 6 foot children. That would be good. Yeah, we don't need that. Lou said, despite everything they did wrong, I am so glad I can trust them. Yeah, and you know, my dad would definitely say the very same things about me at this point now. And I just didn't know. I didn't know. So it may seem obvious, but make sure you explicitly articulate these things. And not only when they get in trouble. Because then it seems more like, oh, you're kind of trying to make yourself feel better for not being a good enough parent to prevent this or something like that. They need to know. In every situation, in any situation, you are there for them. Baby said, when it's time, I will let my kids know they are still beautiful, even though you need lawn equipment to mow those eyebrows every 3 to 4 weeks. I mean, I need a... Mine's not too bad, but yeah, we gotta clean that up. We gotta clean that up. They don't let you use the soap. It's the paint overs. Oh my goodness. Equality said, small perky tits beat saggy tits every day of the week. That is a note to end on. Thank you for hanging out. You have a good one, Equality. All right. Jumping all over the place with the jokes and the seriousness. Let's rewind this a little bit and get serious. Get serious.
Was that we had to end her
life. Up next is the conversation that follows him bringing this up.
Not a single PSD employee reached out to us to understand what in the PSD environment may have contributed to her decision to end her life. It wasn't until May of this year when Wellington Middle School made the news that we had a much better understanding of what had happened and realized that our experience was not an isolated incident.
Oh no, they groomed a whole shitload of children. Hey, whoa. I ain't on no unibrow crew. But before you see me again, that's gonna be gone. There's gonna be a nice separation, and we're gonna bring that in a little bit. I used to clean up here, and then in here, I stopped caring. But like when it was like my mid-20s when I was still like going out to clubs and stuff when people still did that and it wasn't cringe. I had short hair. I had the comb over with the cutout, and I was wearing like, Express with some khakis with the cuff rolled up. And I mean, not like, I wasn't going to get waxed or anything like that. But, grow up. There you go. I mean, it's been a week for me, but hey, whatever.
It wasn't until May of this year when Wellington Middle School made the news that we had a much better understanding of what had happened. And
took the news. You needed to watch the news to understand what's going on with your own child.
Realized that our experience was not an isolated incident. Anime Club was actually a club about gender and sex, and when we asked our daughter if she was ever told to lie to us about it, she said she was told that students didn't have to talk to anyone about what was being said in that room, and if parents asked, students didn't need to tell them. And it felt like a slap in the face to me to listen to Brian Kingsley and Kelby Benedict, the principal, through email and in person and video, that they fully support and encourage these organizations that they know bring with them a highly elevated suicide rate.
They know. This isn't news. We normal schmucks like myself have been warning about this for years. They know. They either don't care or care more about their political agenda.
When we met with Kelby, he told us, I am proud of the community that we've created in Wellington, a community that led to my daughter's decision to try and end her life. And when we shared our experience with Kelby, he told us that kids being invited to art club and anime club were just rumors, and then suggested our daughter was lying with regards to what Jenna Reap had told her about talking to parents.
Hey kids, let's talk about sexual topics. Make sure that you don't tell your parents what we're saying. It's our little secret.
So what is this saying? Parents sue school district after their kids were traumatized by a secret gender change club. 2 Colorado families are suing their children's school district over allegations that school teachers and officials encourage their 6th grade children to join an LGBTQ club and keep its activities secret. The Daily Mail reports America First Policy Institute and whatever legal filed a lawsuit against the what the fuck is that? The school in Fort Collins on behalf of Jonathan and Erin Lee and Nick and Linnea Jurich, whose 6th grade daughters attended the middle school. According to the lawsuit, the couple alleges the 6th grade daughters were recruited by a teacher to join the school's Genders and Sexualities Alliance art club, the GSA, in May 2021. Where those who led the meetings encouraged students to change genders, not just allowed, encouraged. Where'd it go? I missed it. Encourage students to change genders. The employees allegedly told the girls to keep the meetings a secret from their parents, including that that the club has a "what happens at GSA stays at GSA" policy.
Oh, hell no.
Y'all know that's the Vegas thing, right? Where prostitution is legal. But yeah, let's just bring that right in. Quote, it's our responsibility to protect their innocence and stop those who are abusing their taxpayer-funded position to force a radical political agenda into our nation's youth. Pam Bondi said in a statement. I can't fucking read behind my camera. But I mean, you get it. They are still coming after your child. No adult should ever have a secret with a child. Well, parents, but no other adult. Family is, a gray area. It depends on, you don't really need to be telling everybody about your weird uncle that did that, and whatever. But if you're not family, there is no reason ever to have a secret with a child. They said my mom had a coronary when she found out what Netflix and chill meant. I, of course, never left the house unless it involved work, school, or church. Behave. I'm telling you, we would be perfect together. I don't understand what the holdup is. Let's go.
See what I mean by pedo adjacent? I mean, there are like a million stories of stuff like this.
What does this one say? Okay, kids, remember that kids, you must remember that safe adults never ask you to keep a secret from your parents. Exactly.
Literally happens all the time, and these people need to start getting arrested for doing this. Like, why did this next teacher only get fired?
We are going to name this trans student Millie. Millie's parents have found out that Millie is going by Millie at school. Millie's parents are homophobic and transphobic, and so they don't like that.
Okay, well, that's their business now, isn't it?
Them being homophobic and transphobic does not make Millie not Millie. They are
no, biology makes Millie not Millie.
essentially torturing Millie at home because they don't like this. At this point, I'm going to let you know that
projection. You're just doing this because you don't like it. Projection is their native tongue.
them being homophobic and transphobic does not make Millie not Millie. They are essentially torturing Millie at home because they don't like this. At this point, I'm going to let you know that the Department of Education for my state does not force people to call trans kids by their chosen names, but it does have it heavily recommended. I am very...
Yeah, what are you saying? I mean, it makes me willing to turn a blind eye if things get violent. And that is bad! That is a bad thing! We don't want that! It is reasonable, but it's bad. So what do we need to do? Make sure that they're not going after the kids so that we don't become people that we don't want to become.
Confused.
Yes, you are very confused. Much like Millie probably is, but you're just exacerbating all that.
It does have it heavily recommended. I am very confused when the admin, Larry, sends out an email to all of the staff that have Millie. The email says that henceforth they are only to be called Bob by all the teachers, and if they hear them saying anything to any of the other students, they need to correct them. And so when Millie came in...
Yeah, because that's Bob's name. I mean, we're missing a nose ring here, but I would guess that has something to do with the school specifically, but maybe not even. Yup. Let me say, kids think they are being tortured when they have to wash their own clothes. This lady is crazy. Yep. Can I doubt this is gonna show up. Let's see. Nope. YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing it a bit. Morgoth's Hammer says she's super confused. Yup.
Teachers, and if they hear them saying anything to any of the other students, they need to correct them. And so when Millie came in that day...
You mean Bob?
I took Millie aside...
You mean Bob?
And I was like, hey, I got an email today that said that you want to go by Bob now. Is that true? And Millie just starts sobbing. Because no, Millie...
Okay, now I'm confused. Which again, if I'm confused, the child is definitely confused. So... I just based on, the look, I'm assuming that this is a male child. Well, let's run it back a little bit.
The email says that henceforth they are only to be called Bob.
So that tells me that unless the school is going over this base teacher's head saying, no, Millie, you are a female. You are not Bob. And then the school is saying, no, you can only say Bob. That might be the case. But I'm confused. Let's see.
That have Millie. The email says that henceforth they are only to be called Bob by all the teachers, and if they hear them saying anything to any of the other students, they need to correct them. And so when Millie came in that day, I took Millie aside and I was like, hey, I got an email today that said that you want to go by Bob now. Is that true? And Millie just starts sobbing. Because
that's always a good sign.
No, Millie does not want to go by Bob now. Bob is the dead name. Millie is still Millie and wants to be...
Oh, so I was right. You've indoctrinated your child to think that they are dead. The child thinks they are dead. Why else would you be crying about a name? Because you put so much weight on this aspect of identity. that this child is bursting into tears over a name. Great job. Great job. And yeah, so she's a PDF's wet dream. These modern women keep a steady supply of kids for sexual exploitation. Mom's like, kids are learning genders instead of simple life tasks. My 2-year-old can do something. Brother, what? Can you take an extra second? That's like 4 in a row. Kids are learning genders instead of simple life tasks. My 2-year-old can do something get 12-year-old aunt and uncle their 12-year-old aunt and uncle can't do. Get a glass of fucking water for herself. Gen Alpha is fucked. Yep. So get her a 12-year-old. Okay, so yeah, something her 12-year-old aunt could do. Let me say, finding out who these teachers are was eye-opening. Thank God for TikTok. I will dilly that. Right? Like, I love how everybody hates on TikTok, but lives a TikTok. Like, how do you think that came about?
Because no, Millie does not want to go by Bob now. Bob is the dead name. Millie is still Millie and wants to be called Millie, but the parents have contacted the school.
Oh. Dilly to him. I just...
School. And
when you guys break up, let me know.
Larry decides Millie and wants to be called Millie, but the parents have contacted the school, and Larry decides...
How dare they? How dare the parents contact the school with concerns about their own child? How dare they? Don't they know that you, Miss Lily, know everything about everything? You know, they're your kids. I spend more time with them than you do. And you're going to tell me that I'm wrong about your child? Your offspring? Fuck this bitch. Fuck this bitch. I'll put this one over. I don't know that we're going to get an answer, but hey, not coming from me, so.
That this was the best course of action. Yes, these events did 100% lead to me not being hired again at the end of the year.
Surprise, surprise. Yeah. I mean, hey, good for the school. Good for Larry. Good for Larry.
Yes, these events did 100% lead to me not being hired again at the end of the year. Worth it.
Are we back? Are we back? I think we are back. He said he was old enough to want kids instead of a Labubu. I don't know that. Well, there was a couple of different things that I was looking at once we finish this. I don't know if you can see behind the chat here. Abin Preach live right now. Wrong about Stevie, the guy that Abba debated. And then Hassan scandal gets worse. Remember, we got another about not quite 15 minutes of this video on the runtime. And then we got a bunch of other stuff. So you know, I'm gonna let you know what the options are. Make sure you pick. All right, let's dive back in here. Sorry. Struggle Strayman! God damn it! Why are we doing this? Also share system audio. Yes, share system audio. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, going around and gender confusing kids should be a crime.
Good, bad, yes, fixed, not fixed, let me know. Never! Did you hear the video?
A light punishment for doing this secretly and against the wishes of the parents.
Yes, no, yes, 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 no, yes, good. Thank you.
To me not being hired again at the end of the year. Worth it.
Yeah.
Was it though? Was it though? Was it though? The fact that you think losing your job, the fact that you think that losing your job is worth it to groom a child that wanted to delete themselves is insane. There is no way to twist that where it makes sense. There is no way that we have a situation where a child wanted to end themselves because of what you told them, and you're the good guy.
What? Oh, hell no.
The culture war is not over.
Did 100% lead to me not being hired again at the end of the year. Worth it.
Yeah, going around and gender confusing kids should be a crime. A light punishment for doing this secretly and against the wishes of the parents would be losing her job and losing her teaching license. Because remember what this leads to. For now, it's just a name change, but in a few years, it's medical and surgical intervention, which are decisions that lead to permanent outcomes that these kids may not want when they turn 25.
Yeah, and this is the argument from, the what is a woman days, where we're talking about, like, well, it's just this, it's just that, it's just that. We're just doing this. Well, and then we're like, oh, it's just 5% of kids, it's just 10% of kids, it's just 20% of kids. We're just doing this. You're just doing it at 15. We're just doing hormones. Yeah, but you want to keep pushing this shit. You're not trying to stop where we're at. You're trying to keep fucking going. And we can see through you. Oh, well, it's just one example of a fucking litter box in a changing room.
What?
One example too many. Because then, when we say, oh, that's good, then more happens.
Stupid.
Which are decisions that lead to permanent outcomes that these kids may not want when they turn 25. Yet parents and doctors and school employees are making this decision for kids at like 13. Actually, that's not entirely accurate because oftentimes schools are gatewaying kids into this against parental consent or knowledge. And a lot of this comes from stupid ideology that some people have that kids are just like tiny adults. And instead of being a stern parent and guiding them away from bad decisions that have negative consequences that they are too young to understand, every little whim should be listened to.
What age do you think most trans kids determine that they're trans?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I just from the audio, I wasn't even looking, and I remember this clip. Give a guess. Give a guess to what age they're going to say. How old? Let's see what let me paste this from Morgan's Hammer. What age? Let's hear it again.
Bad decisions that have negative consequences that they are too young to understand. Every little whim should be listened to.
What age do you think most trans kids determine that they're trans?
So this is most. What age do you think most trans kids determine that they're trans? Morgan's Hammer said 5. What do we think that this, it's a woman. What do we think this woman is going to say? 5 years old? That's pretty crazy. Like, I barely knew much more than Power Rangers. I like the Pink Ranger, but that's all I knew about gender and sex and dating and attraction and anything. Shout out to TV Viewerski. Welcome to the party. Said 3. That's crazy. 3? You're barely even walking at 3. You're barely even walking. Are you making full sentences at 3? Maybe you're starting to put thoughts together. Give me one more guess. One more guess. One more guess.
Violet told us when she was 1.5.
1.5.
What?
Yeah, right. In the womb, at conception.
Come on, man.
You just said this. I know I do this all the time. It's not just that she thinks this. It's not just that she's willing to say this to other people. It's the fact that she said this into a microphone with a camera in front of her face. Shout out to Kobe. Welcome to the party. If you are just joining us, I've been saying the culture war, we are winning, but it is far from over. And guys, we are coming up on the 2-hour mark, and we've only got one donation and not a single super chat from anybody on YouTube. So I think we got to hit the filter. Get your donations ready. Shout out to PanelCon. Said your self-hating atheist friend has arrived. You may begin your show. Hey, welcome to the party.
What age?
All right, so this was the question. Oh wait, let me get rid of this.
Do you think most trans kids determine that they're trans?
And then we're gonna get the answer, and the filter goes up. If you want to keep the party raging, you know how to do it.
Violet told us when she was 1.5. She's been telling us since she could speak.
You've got to be kidding me. These parents are insane. What, he picked up a Barbie doll and now you decided that he needs cross-hormone therapy?
If you like girl things, it means that you're actually a girl. That's right. So if you like gardening, you're a girl. If you like cooking, you're a girl. Why is it that every single, if gender is such a massive spectrum, then why is every kid that shows an interest in something that's feminine automatically trans?
Yep, I've been saying this from the beginning. If gender is a spectrum, and we are trying to promote the idea of being yourself, then what is wrong with somebody inherently? What is wrong with a boy being like, yes, I am a boy, I am a man, but I like dresses. That doesn't make me a woman. That just makes me a dude that likes dresses. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say about that. That is masculinity. Shout out to TV Viewerski getting rid of the what did I call it? The filter. Getting rid of the filter with the $10 PayPal. My goodness. Thank you. So where's my applause? There we go. And of course, making yourself the new sponsor of the stream. That lazy motherfucker. There he is. And guys, don't forget. I don't want to show him so he doesn't see, but we got a special bacon flavored treat if we hit the goal. 3, if not 4 streams in a row. We've hit it. And guys, we don't have to hit the $50 total. 15 $1 super chats will make it. Let me update the banner here. We are now at 15 out of 50 and 2 out of 15. Thank you so very, very much. And of course, the new sponsor of the stream.
Girl. That's right. So if you like gardening, you're a girl. If you like cooking, you're a girl. Why is it that every single, if gender is such a massive spectrum, then why is every kid that shows an interest in something that's feminine automatically trans? I like Sailor Moon. Does that make me a girl? Yeah, it is.
Apparently.
Go to your go talk to your doctor tomorrow, and you should start your transition immediately.
At this point, if the CPS wasn't so great at putting kids in situations that are worse than the ones they're being rescued from, then I would say that legal action should be taken against these parents for doing this to their 1-year-old. So I don't think we can do anything on that front outside of maybe shaming them for doing this, but I do believe that we can make the lives of other people very uncomfortable for promoting this stuff. In recent months, my mind has changed on this very much. There's no talking to these people or reasoning with them or compromising. Their lives just need to be ruined until they step in line.
And I don't like that. I don't like that. I want to believe that most people just don't know any better. I want so badly to believe that if we just have the right messaging, we can break through. Because I think when we were watching that Coco Melon thing, I think most normies will see that and be like, well, that's a little weird, but whatever. We're just being inclusive. They need to be shown. It's not that fucking simple. Liberty said it's funny how people think libertarianism is bad because there will be no medical regulations, but there would be, and there's no way a company could get away with this without the state.
Bingo.
Yup. People talking, well, what about bad meat from the FDA? Like, all right, hey, I mean, somebody gonna get sick. And then nobody else gets sick. It was like, hey, fuck this guy. He sold me some bad meat. Unless you're looking for utopia, then there's no situation where somebody doesn't get fucked. But a more libertarian society is way better than what we have now. Like I said, all head chefs in history were actually trans women. Or were they men? Because men are better at everything, including being women. Colby said, libertarians suck because they never have solutions. Just want to point out the problems. But yeah, the government should be downsized 1,000%. Sounds like a libertarian to me. There said people, especially detransitioners, would get violent if it weren't for the preconceived legitimacy of the state.
Bingo.
Hard to disagree with that. Let's hear from our vice president, J.D.
People are reasoning with them or compromising. Their lives just need to be ruined until they step in line.
There is no. And actually, let's give a dilly dilly to the one, the only, the late Charlie Kirk. Dilly dilly to that man.
Unity.
Their lives just need to be ruined until they step in line.
There is no unity with people who scream at children over their parents' politics. There is no unity with someone who lies about what Charlie Kirk said in order to excuse his murder.
Yep. And I wasn't going to go down this road. But remember, Dr. Evil Genius was up here and talking about Charlie Kirk. He was like, well, somebody who says the stuff like he says. I didn't want to drill in, but I could have very easily, like, what did he say? What did he say? Oh, the DEI thing? Come on, man.
With someone who lies about what Charlie Kirk said in order to excuse his murder. There is no unity with someone who harasses an innocent family the day after the father of that family lost a dear friend. There is no unity with the people who celebrate Charlie Kirk's assassination.
We tried unity. We've been trying open debate and honest discussion with these people since, like, what, 2016, 2014? Yep. Not only have they mislabeled us as fascist Nazis, but they have ritually tried to assassinate political figures on our side, and when they succeeded, they all laughed and said, why not more? Oh, and it's not just Republicans like Charlie Kirk that they did this to. Remember, a Democrat, Melissa Hortman, was murdered by a radical leftist conveniently after she voted against healthcare for illegals.
Yeah, and then they're all like, well, where's this energy for Melissa Hortman? It's like, I didn't know who the fuck that was, and neither did you. We are all so addicted to our phones. I've seen Charlie's face, Charlie's words at this level. Day after day after day after day after day after day. For months, if not years. But yeah. That means that I don't care about Melissa Hartman.
Oh, hell no.
Because Charlie always treated the transitioners with compassion. He understood that they were brainwashed. Compassion, not empathy.
Was murdered by a radical leftist conveniently after she voted against healthcare for illegals. Make no mistake, these radicals will kill people on the left too for not being left enough. Now, going back to trans kids, I've shown this clip in 2 different videos already, but I think it's so disgusting that it bears repeating considering that a month ago, the world changed.
Dr. Olson had a decision.
You are in the perfect place to start on blockers.
And she promises to begin giving her estrogen, female hormones, in...
Oh, so that's a boy.
And she promises to begin giving her estrogen, female hormones, in 2 years.
Around 13. That's what I think. You're not going to wait until 16 to start.
Yeah, all right, because that would be crazy. Waiting till you're 16 to do life-changing drugs? What am I, a doctor?
That's what I think. You're not going to wait until 16 to start. You know that, okay?
Now, in the past, I might have said, isn't this so awful? We should talk to these people and show them the error of their ways. I'm not on that level anymore.
I'm leaving that level, but I think there's enough people. I think there's enough people. Like that doctor, yeah, nobody's changing that doctor's mind. But that parent, that video looked at least 10 years old, if not older. Where's your daughter now? How's your daughter doing? How do you feel, Mom, about that clip? How do you feel about what happened? It's one of two things. It's either Munchausen by proxy. It's like, oh, my life is now so much better because I have to deal with this. It's given me my life meaning to fight for my daughter's rights. Or, like, oh, fuck, I really fucked up. It's one or the other. And the Munchausen people, yeah, they're gone. They're too far gone. But to assume that everybody is like that is wrong. They are brainwashed. They are not in a position where they've critically thought about this and thought about the other side and measured ideas. These are scared parents that have been told you can have a dead child or a trans child. I don't even necessarily blame parent who doesn't know any better. This shit came up out of nowhere. And as we were just saying before, your parents are the ones that are going to be there for anything. Your family, let's say. We've all got issues with our parents. But those are the people who are going to be there for you. And yet, putting them down the absolute wrong road. So again, that person now is either too far gone or is ready to have some humility and see, I was not right about that. Then, what about the little boy? We're not going to make you wait till 16. So, what's been going on since then? That person's probably an adult now. Are they somebody who is constantly dealing with the cognitive dissonance of knowing that they're not a female and coping harder and harder and harder and harder as this acceptance and celebration, really? The acceptance is not even necessarily, the celebration is starting to die down? Or are they somebody who could be another Blair White that could actually show, no, it's not bigotry. I was that. So I forget the name of the institute, but the leading institute for trans kids shut down because the data showed they were hurting kids instead of helping. The data is in. Shout out to the UK fucking children up because that's what they do. We said it doesn't matter if somebody is brainwashed. If they are hurting kids, they need to be stopped any way we can. Well, I agree with you, but what if we're? I agree with you in principle, but if the options are trying to convince them of something or shooting them, I'd at least like to try the first option. Wouldn't you agree?
We should talk to these people and show them the error of their ways. I'm not on that level anymore. This doctor should get life in prison, or worse. I see very little difference between sterilizing 13-year-olds and child molestation. And make no mistake, she very likely has given these recommendations to many kids.
Yep.
So let's do it. Let's change the laws and make it happen. People need to be criminally punished for medically transitioning kids. Why are we letting radical activists or teachers or psychologists or doctors tell parents that their kids will die if they don't go on HRT? That's not how this works, and if they want to say that it works like that, then allow me to remind everyone that they have no evidence that lack of gender-affirming care leads to suicidal ideation. I've looked through data that they...
I mean, again, I don't want to shoot anybody. So if that's your game, I would hope that that's not what we're talking about. We're being a little bit hyperbolic, but that's not my game. Context said I may be an asshole, but I do blame the parents. You should know your children enough and do your own research to find any alternative to transing your kids. Every and any option first. And I don't disagree, but to be fair, let's take it out of the trans stuff because that's so heavily politicized. let's say, heaven forbid, your daughter turns 13 and you discover that she has an eating disorder. Now she's been caught. She's been trying to hide this, and she's been caught by you. You're like, hey, what's going on here? I want to help. But she's 13. She doesn't know what's going on. She's online. She's on TikTok. Well, if your parents find out, then they're going to get you in trouble. They're going to lock you up. They're going to do this. And you find out, yeah, this is all hypothetical. I would never wish this on anyone. But, like, I know this situation more intimately than I should because this happened to my first girlfriend. That's a whole can of worms, but we ain't going to open it. When you're in the position, when your daughter's in that position of, oh, no, I'm found out I'm not going to be able to control what I want to control. That's typically what an eating disorder is. It's a way to find some level of control in life. That's gone now because mom and dad figured it out. Now I don't want to be here anymore. I think I want to end myself, she says. Then you go to a doctor. And the doctor said, hey, listen, this is a precarious situation. This is very, very serious. We need to do X, Y, and Z. Otherwise, there's a real possibility that your daughter is going to take her own life. Is there any grace there for the parents that maybe didn't do as much research as they thought because of the immediacy of, if I don't do the right thing today, if I don't do the right thing tomorrow, there might not be another option. They tell these parents, you can have a dead kid or a trans kid. So I agree. Parents absolutely are to blame. Absolutely. That being said, I think we need to give some grace to people who make bad decisions in a situation where maybe they should have known better, but they messed up. Yeah, a lot of parents don't pay attention to politics. Most of these parents, including yourselves, didn't know that this stuff was going on until COVID. So again, I'm not saying that the parents don't have that responsibility. What I'm saying is I'm trying to get a realistic look of, if you are in that situation, your emotions and your decision-making itself is going to be compromised. And so as much blame as we do want to put on parents who put their children through this, I think there is more blame. There's more blame on the doctors, on the politicians, and on the activists. Number 7, I heard a father went after the doctor who mutilated their child. They should not be charged. I'm not going to do it. Can't disagree with you there. Can't disagree with you there. It said 10 years ago, we called girls playing baseballs and wearing flannels a tomboy. Now the doctor tells her she is a boy. Oh, that triggered a side quest. Actually, did I save that? Oh, Jesus. Hold on. All right. Well, we'll do this. Give me 1 second. There's a trend going around that, can I pull this up? All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to play this, and then we'll come back to it. Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to play this instead because I don't want to step on my... Trying to get more people like this on my FYP so that I can see what they really have to say. So since I had to sit through it, now you do too. Enjoy the leftist.
You're someone who previously thought that you were a liberal and aligned yourself with the Democratic Party, but now you're starting to think that those pesky leftists might be onto something? This is the video for you. Hi, my name is Madeline, and I am a socialist, a Marxist-Leninist, more specifically, and I have been some form of socialist now for 26 years.
How's that working out?
First thing you need to understand about American politics is that we do not actually have a left-wing political party here in the United States. We have a right-wing party, the Democrats, and a far-right extremist party, the Republicans. This is why you sometimes will hear people in other countries say the United States is a one-party system, but in true American extravagance, they've got two of them. The reason both the Democrats and the Republicans are classified as right-wing is because they both seek to uphold a system called capitalism.
Dun, dun, dun. Let's speed her up a little bit.
Left-wing politics start at a rejection of capitalism, because capitalism inherently requires exploitation, violence, and bloodshed to function. And if that's confusing, I'll explain. See, capitalism is the idea that the stuff we need to live a good life here in society should be allowed to be privately owned by just a handful of rich dudes. The incentive for these rich dudes owning things like businesses and apartment buildings is that they get to extract something called profit just from the ownership. The problem with capitalism, though, is that it comes with an inherent contradiction. Eventually, you're going to reach a point where the rich guy who owns the company you work at is going to try to pay you as little as possible so that he can make the most profit possible off of your labor.
So get a better job and do better labor.
While the rich guy who owns the apartment you live in is going to try to charge you as much as possible so he can extract the most profit he can off of owning your living situation. And eventually, you, an everyday person, are going to find yourself caught in the middle of these two rich guys being paid not enough to be able to afford to live. Meanwhile,
So become rich guy. You don't have to be rich guy. You just need enough to not worry about bigger rich guys.
the rich guys who own everything are going to start looking around the planet for new markets to exploit. Engaging in colonial or neo-colonial models, often with the backing and support of their government back at home, exploits and oppresses people in other countries for the material gain of them and their rich guy buddies back in countries like the United States. And if the people in those countries do not take too kindly to being taken over by 12 rich dudes from the US.
All right. I'm gonna have to go watch the rest of that video to make sure I get more people, maybe not that extreme, but like that on my timeline so that I can train the algorithm to show me what people are really out there thinking, and she's really out there. Yup. All right, so I couldn't find the original, but I've got my own TikTok. It's gonna be a little sloppy, but it's good enough for the side quest. What are we doing? Oh, I was like, why is it not going to the thing? Because it's TikTok, not come on, baby. Dumb. What is happening? Hold on. Bro, it's 3 in the morning. Okay. Boom. Then we here. Then we here. All right. Here we go. And I'm ringing, and I'm waiting for some chicken soup. And I just saw the dumbest video. Apparently, there's a trend going on where some decently attractive female is dressing butch and then going and hitting on guys, and then when the man likes the woman, they're like, gay! So I was trying to find the original video, the original prank video. It's just a black woman. She's not like super attractive, but she's not ugly, and she's just, you know, wearing baggy clothes, and she'll go up to somebody and a dude and start hitting on them, and the dude is interested because she's a female, and all the women will be like, see, they're fucking gay. Oh, they're so gay. First of all, I kind of thought we were past the whole gay is bad thing, so much so that we could start saying that's gay to mean lame again without invoking homosexual people. I thought that was like at least a year ago, but maybe I'm behind. And secondly, ladies, well, maybe this is a liberal thing. You may not see the difference between a trans woman and a woman, but we definitely do. A tomboy who's a woman still has a... Hello? I was hoping I was going to give that to me. Let's see. Let's do a search. Let's see. Butch girl hits on guy. Let's do trend. Okay, we'll do, where are we? Prank. Okay, if I can't find one, there seems to be... Okay, I don't see exactly it But this, where are we? This looks similar. Okay, similar. So this is already, you know, somebody's they're already together or whatever, but same.
Check us out. Hey, bro, we look good as hell, though, no?
Obviously a voice changer.
We look good as hell together. But, hey, man. Hey, man, it's
like he's not hearing the voice change, in case you didn't notice. Like that's something that you would put on the video after. So this is just his wife, no makeup, hat, and a hoodie.
Hey, bro, start. Man, come on, start. We was down together, bro. We had some stuff, bro. You were my main. Man, what? Main course. Okay,
I'm not watching that whole thing. But yeah, you know, the again, the idea of the original is that, oh, look how gay they are because they like a butch woman. Wait, oh, what was that last word? Woman. It's almost like men like women. All right, where we at? Yep, they're always projecting. Parents do the same. Parents do the transition the same way they do vaccines. They just trust the system, good or bad. It allows people to remove their own agency. But when you're a parent, you have agency. You can't remove it without giving guardianship to someone else. I guess it's to the state. Yeah, and I mean. This is a product of a time when, at least we thought, that we could trust our institutions. When a doctor tells you this, then, okay, that's what the doctor said. We no longer live in that world. Playing Game of Thrones for all this. I just watched a video on everything wrong with season 8, and they were on point. Panacon said, dudes are all about eager chicks. There you go. That's another thing. That's like, oh, you're a female. You're showing interest in me. All right. Maybe I wouldn't come up to you. But we're here now. We ain't gonna kick her out of bed for crumbs in the streets. You know what I mean? Gay is bad. Still a thing. Visit Alabama. Well, I'm up here in liberal ass Jersey. So, but it's the liberal women. The ones who've been pushing all this shit, that they're all the ones saying that that we should have inclusivity and this and that, and then as soon as a man does something you don't like, gay. Like, all right, I mean, seems a little bit hypocritical, but whatever you do. Kobe said, "There's always something hot about that girl that is good at flag football." I say, shit, me too. TV, thank you so very, very much. You have a good one. Let's dive right back in here.
That lack of gender-affirming care leads to suicidal ideation. I've looked through data that they provided to argue their points in many different videos like this one, and to quickly summarize, their proof that not being affirmed leads to more suicide attempts is weak because there are other cofactors like homelessness and drug abuse that are far more prominent, and they've also failed to prove that gender-affirming...
I say this graph is insane with how many other things literally double or triple your chances of self-deletion as a transgender person. Yet these people will say stupid shit like kids need HRT or they will die. They will die. This study was done by the Williams Institute. It's called Self-Deletion Thoughts and Attempts Among Transgender Adults. So yeah, we have heavy alcohol use, binge alcohol use, illicit drug use, excluding marijuana, disability, homelessness, ever engaged in sex work in the past year. All of these things much, much higher for the transgender community. Coincidence? I think not.
Affirming care is an effective treatment because they don't test it against other therapies. And the one time I was provided a study where they did, gender-affirming care was shown to have no effect. Now, personally, I think adults can do whatever they want. You know, who am I to stop an adult who hires a plastic surgeon to turn themselves into an elf? But
yeah, I don't care about that. And guys, we are at 2 hours and 15 minutes. If you would like to keep the party raging, you know how to do it.
Outside of that, how about the people who throw this stuff at kids spend some time in prison? The evidence that these extremely invasive therapies improve the mental health of children or maintain any mental health benefit long-term is basically non-existent. And keep in mind, they have spent the past 10 years censoring and bullying and taking the jobs of anyone who says where's the data or tries to do honest research. So how about people start going to jail for doing this to kids? How about you at least lose your teaching license for making a secret anime club to teach gender ideology to middle schoolers behind their parents' back? How about these school boards who are putting inappropriate sexual material in front of elementary school kids against their parents' wishes get put in handcuffs? I don't think people are thinking downstream far enough. People should be more mad about this. Let's get back to this chick for a second.
If you're offended by women saying they're afraid of men, you're the problem.
Right, and why would you have to be afraid of men? Well, it's no secret that mental health issues cause criminality, and things like high rates of single motherhood or giving children life-altering surgeries at 13 have a really bad habit of giving people the kind of mental health issues that turn them into criminals. There's a reason why a number of these mass shooters are trans. Personally, I would like to live in a space where I'm not constantly worried that I'll be robbed or stabbed. You do know that there are other societies that don't have to deal with these types of problems, right? I would just like to further emphasize a point that I've already made in a prior video, because I went on a second trip to Japan after just going a month prior. And like I said before, it is uncanny to be able to just relax in public when you're out at night. It is uncanny to be able to walk away from your luggage that contains thousands of dollars of electronics and turn your back on it to look at a subway map because you know that no one's going to steal it. What do they call that? A high-trust society? Japan is also notorious for being clean despite having no trash cans anywhere. I mean, the trash can situation there is ridiculous. They hide the trash cans from you. But despite that,
they still use them. This is the difference between legislating your morality and building morality through your culture.
the cities are still super clean. In fact, even the degenerates who litter have the courtesy to hide their empty cans in bushes, or line them up on windowsills, or even organize their litter in public walkways.
Look at that. Labels out and everything!
When a windowsill or a bush isn't available. Look how neat that is. I'll go even further because this blew my mind. I've been listening to the Steve Jobs biography, so I wanted to go into an Apple store while I was in Japan because there's talk about the design of the Apple stores in the book. When my friends and I got there, we noticed that not only do you have, as far as I saw, full access to all the features on the iPhones, but also none of the phones were tethered to the desk, which means you can just pick the phone up and walk around with it. They can do that in Japan because no one steals.
You can't even get a razor without a key. We're fucked.
Or at least theft is rare enough that Apple in Japan feels comfortable treating their customers like human beings and not criminals. Why isn't America like that? We don't have to live in filthy cities or filthy communities that are full of criminals. There are other places in the world that have figured this out, and we can too. Though the sad part for Japan is that this is changing a bit. Here's a video that Oriental Pearl just released.
Graffiti all
Oriental Pearl? Was that like Pearl what the fuck is her name? Pearly things? Was that a joke about that?
This is changing a bit. Here's a video
oh no, that's just her name. Okay, Oriental Pearl. Okay.
That Oriental Pearl just released.
graffiti all over the wall. Somebody illegally dumped their household trash here. This has been here for weeks. There's even graffiti on the abandoned house. This isn't London. It's not New York. This is actually Tokyo, Japan.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Are you ready to cringe? If you are not looking at the screen, you're going to want to look at the screen, and oh, you don't want this secondhand cringe.
And coming over here, every pole, everything, every little box, vending machines have graffiti.
For it. Free Gaza! Free Gaza!
This is covered up.
Of course!
More free Palestine retards, of course. Like I've said before, I'm all for peace in the Middle East, but when you start engaging in terrorist acts or vandalism, I get a lot less accepting and a lot less sympathetic towards foreigners, especially when it's foreigners who screwed up their country and have come to ruin yours.
But it turns out the people that are being invited into Japan are actually not super grateful, and thank God for Japan, they have a secret weapon to combat this.
Hey, look, a VTuber! A VTuber!
Japan are actually not super grateful, and thank God for Japan, they have a secret weapon to combat this. Racism.
Unfortunately, mass immigration isn't the only issue that's hurting Japan, as global events of the 2020s have caused the culture to degrade a bit.
The graffiti just seems to be getting worse. I've seen this over the last few years, especially around Corona, after Corona. Right after the pandemic, a lot of runaways from all across the country, even really young kids, middle school and high school age, came and gathered here at Toyoko Hiroba. So there were the Toyoko kids, the runaways from Japan, all across the country that came to Shinjuku. They'd stay in the manga cafes, they'd work, you know, not legal jobs during the daytime. And the same goes for this Okubo building right here behind me. This was insane. And I had never seen anything like this in Japan before. Not only the professional ladies of the night standing out here, but also the amateurs. But you don't see them so much anymore because it became so famous in Japan that the police had to get involved and put a stop to it.
Isn't Japan where they have like the gooning machines where you could just put in a quarter and just go on with your day, like out in public? Is that? I'm pretty sure I heard that was a thing. I don't know if it's real, but I definitely heard that.
Well, great. It sounds like another bullying success story. Outside of that, yeah, a lot of people are hurting because of what was done during COVID. It's almost like worldwide lockdowns were done to purposefully throw people into poverty and increase crime. Now, as far as I'm aware, this kind of stuff in Japan is isolated to areas of Tokyo like Shibuya, Shinjuku, and a part of Shinjuku called Kabukicho. I don't think it's like a massive countrywide thing. Certainly, Kyoto is very clean. However, there was some drama around this video as Chris from abroad in Japan went onto Facebook. Who the hell still uses Facebook? Chris went onto Facebook to say that Oriental Pearl was just drama farming, and these areas are actually fine. Personally, I've been to the areas that were mentioned twice in the past 2 months, and I have to say that there is a noticeable difference between them and other parts of Tokyo that are much safer. I mean, a friend and I definitely walked down an alleyway in Shinjuku on accident that we immediately wanted to leave. Not to mention that I've been told unprompted by multiple Japanese teachers during lessons to be careful in these areas, especially at night.
So in this case, I don't think Oriental Pearl is exaggerating or sensationalist. Seeing that much graffiti in Japan, it's not usual.
So that corner is actually here. It's actually getting worse 2023 versus now. So if her point is like, oh yeah, Japan's getting more graffitis everywhere and trash everywhere. Yeah, I didn't know about this myself. It seems like she's actually true.
I do think that this is a problem, at least in those areas, and just because an area was worse before doesn't mean that it can't still be improved. Along with that, if you ignore it, then it will get worse and spread to other places. So personally, I think a less tolerant attitude towards crime, instead of saying, come on guys, it's not that bad, is more appropriate. As for the West, I'm tired of it. I'm fatigued. I'm tired of all the crime.
Fatigued. Yep. And I personally haven't, well, I mean, knock on wood, I personally haven't been really affected by a crime wave or anything, but it affects all of us. We're a community.
We are way too tolerant of criminals. So how about we start putting up boundaries? How about we stop putting up with all this bad behavior? Because the more that we allow this stuff to continue, the more it will morph us into bad people. Now, this next thing is about relationships, but I think it heavily applies.
I cannot tell you how much bitterness and resentment you will build up as a man if you do everything for your woman and you get nothing in return. And guys, I'm not going to lie.
Don't simp.
It will turn you into a monster. You can be the best man on earth, but if you have an ungrateful partner, it will turn you into a fucking monster, bro.
He's right. If you get intimately involved with bad people, they will turn you into a monster long before you get anywhere close to fixing them. Some people cannot be reformed, and the ones who can be reformed will only make changes when they're socially ostracized or experience extremely negative consequences.
So that's it right there. That's it right there. Are there people who are too far gone? Abso-fucking-lutely. But if they're not, because not everybody is, extreme negative consequences within the realm of the law is what we need to do. We need to get louder. We need to stand on business, and we need to stop letting bullshit just fly by without saying anything. Have some fucking balls and call shit out.
We'll only make changes when they're socially ostracized.
Socially ostracized people.
Or experience extremely negative consequences.
Shame. Shame.
So if you're suffering because you're around bad people, then know that you don't have to live like this. You don't have to be in a relationship with a crazy person, and we don't have to live in a society where people call us racist as they try to turn our kids into sexual deviants who hate their parents. And it's not that hard. If you want to send these people into a spiral, then just tell them that there are only two genders. But if someone keeps trying to ruin your life, stop talking to them. The more you put up with them, the more you'll degrade yourself. If someone commits a horrendous crime, then make sure they go to jail. And last, don't be appeased by bullshit. Bullshit like good old politicians creating cashless bail reform because Irina Zarutska got stabbed on a train. I mean, sure, that's all well and good, and this AI summary seems to show some things that I like, but that's not what we asked for.
What does it say? Irina's Law is a North Carolina criminal justice reform bill, officially known as House Bill 307. It was enacted October 2025 following the fatal stabbing of Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska on a Charlotte light rail. So it ends cashless bail. It requires mental health evaluations for if you're if you do one of these crimes. Establishes stricter bail guidelines. So they said ending cashless bail, but you're not going to get easy bail either. Expedites death penalty appeals. It removes barriers that have prevented the state execution since 2006 by requiring that death penalty appeals be heard within 2 years. So anybody talking about, hey, it's not fair that these people are sitting on death row for forever. Well, I mean, shout out to Irina. Then we got adds a new capital offense and provides an alternative execution methods. The bill contains a provision that allows the state to use alternative execution methods, such as a firing squad. Damn.
I could have sworn what people requested was life imprisonment or capital punishment to the activist judges who keep releasing these career violent criminals into polite society. That'll stop this shit real fast. I don't want dumb cashless bail reform as a consolation prize. I want these evil activist judges who let that girl get stabbed to be dealt with. What needs to happen as a society is that we all need to assert boundaries and not back down until actual justice has been served. That's what will fix these problems. Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
There you go. There. Whoa,
Whoa,
what is going on? All right. Shout out to Think Before You Sleep. Like I said, guys, do not let your guard down. They are still transing the kids. It's not over. It's not over. We're moving in the right direction. Very good. Me likey. We're moving in the right direction. But if you think that because we're moving in the right direction, it's just going to fall away, you're wrong. You're wrong. There are people fighting very, very hard to keep this alive. And seems to be all that they do. And they're not bad at the rhetoric and the propaganda and the activism and all of that stuff. They are convincing people. So we just got to do better. That's all there is to it. So let's give a big shout out to the donations. We got the Viewerski with the $10 PayPal. And of course, Equality and Deference because Vagina with the Rumble rant. Not a single super chat. So fuck you all. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I don't see anybody in the after party, but you guys decide what to do. Thank you so very, very much for hanging out. Once again, guys, that is Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.